Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Ericsson's Chief Marketing Officer, Helena Norman.
Good morning all, and a warm welcome to Ericsson at Mobile World Congress 2017. It's a bright and early start, and we're very happy that you have all decided to come and join us here this morning. Both all of you that are here live in the hall, and also all of you that are joining us through webcast this morning. So this hall that we're in, the Ericsson Hall, is built around the concerns and the opportunities of our customers. And for instance, just behind me is the 5G Boulevard and the crossroads that lead onto it. And that's something that we're going to talk a lot about this morning. But I also want to take the opportunity already now to welcome you all back to our hall, to make sure that we can deepen the discussions and that we can talk more in detail about all the different topics that we're discussing this morning. And right now it's quiet. It hasn't really started yet. But over the coming days, it will be very busy in this hall. But I want you all to know that you're always welcome, and we'll always make sure to give you the experience that you're looking for. But over the coming hour, you will hear from our customers and partners. You will hear about developments in the industry and in the company. And to kick it off, and to put the perspective of the industry and of Ericsson, I'm very happy to introduce our new President and CEO, Börje Ekholm.
Well, thank you, Helena. It's great to be here. Most of you, I'm sure, are veterans in this Mobile World Congress. I'm personally a rookie, so bear with me a little bit. I will learn eventually as well. Today, we'll talk about our company, but also about our customers and partners. I'm really proud to work for a company and lead a company that has helped shape the world. Connectivity and mobility are probably one of our time's most important technology platforms. And we continue to push the boundaries. We continue to innovate in a hyper-connected world. I think we are the pioneers of the digital frontier. And as we do this, our industry, and actually all industries, are experiencing massive disruption. And therefore, also we will need to change. And as we have said, we at Ericsson are working on our strategy. We're looking through our options and evaluating where we will invest and how we will invest to make sure we are relevant for the future. But one thing is certain, we will be building upon our strength in mobility and our ability to manage complex projects. Our success actually only comes out of making our customers successful, whether that is through the creation of new revenue streams or actually lowering cost and be more efficient. We, as a company, have the solutions to help our customers succeed in the future. But let's now talk about today and what we're doing here at Mobile World Congress. You will find here proof points that are about adding value to our customers. You will see 5G, why it's important. You will see use cases that require 5G networks. But you will also see businesses, industries, and customers that will be enabled by 5G. I think as a vendor, our really #1 reason for being is to add true value to our customers. Only our customers' success define our success. And you will meet guests today who represent a sample of what we do around the world. And it actually spreads truly around the planet, as you will shortly see. Our first topic is 5G. And you will see how that can help customers grow revenues as well as strengthen their relevance. I think 5G is not only a buzzword anymore. It's actually increasingly becoming a reality. 2 weeks ago, we announced the industry's first 5G platform for all relevant frequency ranges. It includes the 5G core, radio, and transport, but in addition, digital support systems, security, and transformation services. 5G is all about high performance, whether it's bandwidth, low latency, or actually long battery lives. But it will also allow new opportunities, such as network slicing. And you will see all of this here in Hall 2 as you walk our 5G boulevard. Another topic that I think is very important is artificial intelligence and machine learning. They're all cool for consumer applications, but I think it's a game changer for our industry. It will allow customers to increase automation and become more efficient and digitalize faster. Let me give a couple of examples. And here in North America, we have reduced time to build out new sites by 50%. In Indonesia, 70% of priority incidents are resolved preemptively. And in Thailand, content downloads from Facebook are 60% faster than before. We have achieved those improvements in close cooperations with our customers and partners, and it allows us to automate our delivery platform and a smart redesign of service processes. And we call this new approach for engineered intelligence. And actually, it's available today. We do it today. We also, when we look ahead, see the networks evolving with machine learning. We see 4 distinct stages. The first stage is where we are today. It's reactive. I know what happened. Next step is to use deep learning to predict future outcomes. I know what will happen. The third stage, that's when the networks start to suggest outcome-based scenarios. I know what you would like to happen. And the fourth stage is true intelligence, and that's where machines actually can see cause and effect and proactively solve issues before the subscriber even knows of them. I can take care of myself, basically. As a global company, we can bring together knowledge, experience, and data from across the borders and across the planet. And that can allow us to develop solutions based on a global scale for our customers and partners. To fit actually the future, I think all operators and all industries will need a path to 5G. And we're here to help with that plan. As you all know, 5G will not be built like 4G. 5G is cloud-based. Design and functionality will be in the cloud. We even think the network will be in the cloud in the future. And that's why our strength in virtualization of networks, as well as OSS and BSS offerings, are central to our future product portfolio. That will help our customers to digitalize, as well as to make their operations more efficient, faster. One area that is even more important as we go into the cloud is, of course, security. That's an area that will only increase in importance. 2 weeks ago, we launched the Ericsson Security Manager, which is part of our overall approach to manage security. It allows the operator or our customers to continuously monitor the networks for threats, vulnerabilities, risks, and compliance. Well, Being a pioneer requires us to innovate and experiment. This is something we like to do together with our customers and partners. Already today, we have more than 30 MOUs with operators around the world, actually more than anyone else, to work on 5G together. Next step is trials, and we were very happy to announce this morning new 5G new radio trials with NTT Docomo, Vodafone, and Telstra as strong partners for us. As a matter of fact, 5G goes beyond the regular operator business. It's a business revolution. And I think it's a way for our customers to increase their relevance yet again. We have done a new study quite recently to try to estimate this incredible opportunity. And we believe the total market for 5G, when you think in the broadest context, is a $1.2 trillion market in 10 years. So, to sum up, you will see here today 5G. It's not a buzzword. It is happening. It's starting to gain momentum. We are ready with solutions as well as products that positions our customers and partners to well for the future and to benefit for the 5G. But instead of having me stand here and talk and just tell you about it, we have invited customers and partners to describe, first here, network evolution, then a fantastic new way how to bring entertainment in a new way to your devices with 4G. And after that, we will start to learn about the transformation happening in the transport industry. So with that, I'd like to invite straight from Seattle and T-Mobile, and I guess the Seahawks. We'll invite Neville Ray, Chief Technology Officer of T-Mobile USA. Welcome, Neville.
Good morning. How are you all doing? Good, good. That wasn't much noise, was it? Quiet crowd. It's early. It's early for me. I'm from the West Coast in the US. So Börje talked a lot about change. And where I wanted to start, just a brief, few comments today, was to really introduce and maybe reintroduce for you the T-Mobile US business. So start these slides. It kind of starts in 2012. And we've been on a mission as a wireless company to transform the wireless industry in the US. And you can see stuff scrolling behind me on all the customer moves that we've made. In conjunction with that, and this is where Ericsson comes to the fore, we've been transforming our network. And over the last 4 years, we've gone from a 0 covered POPs of LTE to one where we are approaching now 320 million people covered with LTE by the end of this year, 314 million today. That's been a massive transformation in a wireless market which was dominated primarily by 2 players. And now there's a real third in the US. You've seen some of the results of that pop up as I was talking. This is an incredible story of transformation and change over a very short period of time. If you look at the customer base, which has more than doubled, and you look at the revenue base for T-Mobile US, which has almost effectively doubled in the same time frame. So let me assure you that we may think this industry is a little flat, but disruption, competition, and growth are very much alive in the US marketplace, one of the largest in the world in wireless. And T-Mobile US has been kind of kicking ass in the US marketplace. We have absorbed most of the growth, the valuable customer growth, and we've driven tremendous change and capability in networks. And the level of competition that we brought in the LTE space has forced other providers to invest in LTE and ready their networks for the next evolution. So let's talk about networks for a little bit. we're very proud of what we built in the US market. And you can see behind me scrolling through a whole series of features and statements and evolutionary steps that we've taken to deliver what is America's most advanced LTE network today. We've had the fastest LTE network for 3 years running, and we have the most advanced adoption of LTE features and capabilities. And why is that important? If I had to title this few comments today, it would be about this bridge to 5G. And there is so much capability in the LTE market space today for all operators globally. The US is one of the most advanced LTE markets, maybe not the, but the level of customer adoption of LTE is phenomenal and almost second to none. For us, we are all in on LTE. And when we move to 5G, I don't want to have a 2G and 3G network behind me. I am retiring legacy technologies at a furious pace. How do I do that? I drive VoLTE adoption, which is at 2/3 of our customers now are calling is on VoLTE. Somebody tell me if they can, over the next couple of days, if they know of an operator that has a higher percentage of their call volume on LTE. We believe that's a global leading number from all the intelligence that we've been able to gather. And we are driving very hard towards an all LTE network. Why is this stuff important? Because we're here primarily to talk about 5G and what happens next in the industry. The pathway to 5G, the foundational capabilities that we are all building in LTE today are critical for any level of success in a 5G future. Much of these features and the capabilities to aggregate spectrum, to drive MIMO. We launched 4x4 MIMO in T-Mobile US last year. That was the first in the US, and I believe at the time a global first. We're talking of massive MIMO capabilities in 5G, yet in an industry today which has really just started on a MIMO path. So LTE is where we really learn our trade and build all of the foundation blocks that are necessary for a 5G future. And I foundationally believe that this is a very, very rich opportunity for many, many operators globally. The level of LTE adoption and the capabilities of networks today are not where they need to be for that smooth transition of the consumer from a 2G, 3G, 4G world into the 5G space. So maybe a little provocative, this is a 4G story, but believe me, 4G is far from dead. And the investment opportunities that exist globally are phenomenal over the coming years because, one, 5G is not ready yet. And it's maturing quickly, as Börje said, but it's not real today. And I can't go and deploy a 5G radio to serve my customers with and give them a handset. But my goodness, can I deliver a tremendous network experience with LTE? So LTE has great legs, and we'll be out there for a long period of time to come, and the world of 2G and 3G is very rapidly fading away. So, last slide from me, just a couple of quick comments on 5G. I'm watching this clock and trying to talk very, very quickly. Don't take anything I've said as an indication that we're not excited about 5G and what it will bring. We're hugely excited about 5G. I'm a little frustrated. Börje talked about some of the use cases and how we're trying to define all of those. I don't think it's that difficult. If we look at what has transformed this industry over the last 5-6 years, it's LTE. It's the capability to deliver the mobile internet where people move, where they go. That internet experience now moves with them. And let's be honest, as an industry, 5-6 years ago, that wasn't the case. You can now do with a mobile device most things that you can do on a fixed connection at home or at work. Finally, we've been talking about it for years. Finally, we're delivering it with LTE. But look at the fixed space and look at the capabilities that are developing already. Look at virtual reality. Look at augmented reality. Börje mentioned artificial intelligence. You can walk around the halls here and this great hall here, and you'll see why we need 5G. We need a 5G network that can be faster, has lower latencies, has tremendous capacity, and and great battery life. All of those things will ready the networks of today for the networks and positions of tomorrow that our consumers will need. I don't believe it's that difficult to comprehend. I believe the next 10 years we will see a massive transformation in consumer adoption of 5G services. And it will be about the thing that will really excite us all in halls like this, will be how consumers embrace that technology. And I know I will need a different network to fulfill that capability and ambition. So that's it. A few opening comments. Sorry it's so brief, but Helena, come back up. Thank you.
Thank you, Neville. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Yes, this is important that I get it back.
I've got to leave that with you.
So when this collaboration started, it actually started with a really good question from you to our team. We talk a lot about asking the right questions, and you asked us the question, what we would do if it was our network.
That's right.
And you will also be here for the Q&A session. So if the group here has questions for you, it will be a good opportunity to ask them in a short while.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hanno.
Thank you so much. So with that, let's continue on the journey. We've talked about the network and evolving the network. The next step is what you can do with the network. And today we're going to talk about an application about consumer experience in the media space and a pilot solution that we have developed in close partnership with 21st Century Fox and the Fox Innovation Lab and Telstra. And I'm very happy to welcome on stage the CEO of Telstra, Andy Penn, and the CTO of 21st Century Fox and Managing Director of the Fox Innovation Lab, Hanno Basse. So good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good. So if we start from your perspective, Hanno, tell us about how this approach has helped sort of improve consumer experience.
Well, Helena, first of all, I want to say thank you for having us here today. We're really excited to be here together with Ericsson and Telstra. I think for us, for the entertainment industry, the biggest challenge is that there's this explosion of choice in content. And so how do we help our consumers find that content and deliver that content to them at the best possible quality and with the highest reliability possible? And obviously, our studio stands for high quality content, so we need to make sure that content gets to the consumer with that quality. And so what we found is what really helps us here is the unified delivery network that Ericsson has been designing in conjunction with Telstra that provides like a one-stop shop for content ingest, processing, and delivery on a global scale. We're looking at utilizing new technologies like LTE broadcast and a long-term 5G. So we're really excited to be here because we think we can really revolutionize how our content gets to consumers, especially to mobile devices, but other devices as well.
So if we then shift focus and go from the content owner perspective over to the operator perspective, what's the value that you see from Telstra?
Well, thanks, Helena, and thanks so much to Börje and the whole team for having us here in the partnership with 20th Century Fox. We have a long relationship with Fox and Fox Studios going back many years. And in fact, as Neville said, there is an enormous amount of innovation that we still need to drive in 4G ahead of 5G. And of course, one of the biggest drivers of volume on the network for us is content and media. And as we move from a world where of standard def movies to high def movies to 4K movies to virtual reality, the demand for data is just going to grow and grow. And so this initiative with LTE broadcast enables us to effectively provide two things. One is a fantastic customer experience with media at the same time as delivering network efficiencies for us as an operator. And it's going to really transform how media is consumed, I believe. And in fact, this is just a small part of what can be achieved with LTE broadcast, which is going to be a phenomenal technology.
So if we look, now we talk a lot about what this enables, but how does the solution really work?
Well, essentially what's happening is that we are able to preload and pre-sort of condition content on a customer's device so that actually it's available for them when they want to watch it and when they want to see it, whether it's online or offline. And we can actually do that by multicasting the content, and we can multicast the content at a time when the network is not in significant use, so maybe in the middle of the night, and we can actually identify the sort of content that customers may wish to have preloaded on their devices, and so that it's basically there for them and they can just download it or quickly access it because it's effectively already there.
If I can just
Yes.
add to this, which is, I believe our content, especially feature motion picture content from our studios, is a perfect use case for what Andy just described, because our content, we know ahead of time when it's available. It's all about first run, new release movies, that come out on the schedule. So we think this is really going to be great for our consumers. It's the perfect match of new technology and the content that we provide and the way we provide it. So really
Börje talked about security in his opening remarks, and I guess from a content owner perspective that the security aspect is extremely important.
Absolutely.
How does this fit into the picture?
So we worked with Ericsson on the security part here, and we're really happy with where we landed. There's several layers of security here. It supports many different DRMs, so operators can pick and choose what they want to support there. It also supports several layers of watermarking, which we think is necessary in this day and age. So we're very happy with the security solutions that you guys have come up with.
So this is a pilot at this point in time, but what do you see from both of your perspectives as the real business potential? I mean, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so we at Fox, we created the Fox Innovation Lab a few years ago, and it was specifically with the goal to partner with companies like Telstra, like Ericsson, to really figure out where technology is going and what that means for consumer behavior in the future, and how do we need to participate and follow the consumer trends. And we're doing that here, and we believe that the easier it is for our consumers to have access to our content, to get it at the highest possible quality and highest possible reliability, they will see more value in our content, and that's what we're looking for here, and I think we're on a very good track for that.
Yeah, and I think from an operator's perspective, I mean, what's critical for us is really how our customers experience media and experience content, great movies from 21st Century Fox, and how we therefore deliver that to the devices of customers is really ultimately what's going to make a difference. And we all know that the volume of traffic on the network is increasing exponentially, and so therefore this type of technology, which enables us to actually preload customers' content based on their preferences and then send them notifications that it's there. There are multiple different business models that we can use in partnership with great media companies to be able to bring that to life and really leverage the benefit of LTE broadcast. And then if you think about LTE broadcast as a capability and other things which drive traffic on the network for operators, things like software upgrades, all of these can actually be great use cases for this technology. So the pilot's a really cool one, and I think it's pretty exciting, and we're going to get some great feedback.
And one more thing, if you look at how our content roadmap is evolving, so we're going to start here with movies, but later on add TV shows, and then over the long run, experiences like VR, which are very data intensive, like Andy just said, and how do you get that to consumers in an efficient way? This is probably one of the best ways to do that in the future, so we're really excited to be here.
Oh, you seem to have, maybe there is a problem with the microphone.
Can you hear me? I don't know. Oh.
Let's hope they could hear you.
Okay.
So it's, we have this solution, the pilot, you can see it here in the hall. It's one of the demos that we have, so if you're interested in touching and feeling it a little bit, that's very possible. And I think it's a great starting point, and it's really good that you could be here this morning and share this with us. We also know that both of you have a very, very busy schedule here at Mobile World Congress. So for the Q&A session, there will actually be other representatives from Telstra and 21st Century Fox here. So it's not, I've been asked to say specifically that it's not out of lack of interest that we will see you start sneaking out from the hall. But you're in very high demand for the rest of the program. So with that, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
I think really the answer is because we're going to put the people up here on Q&A that can really ask you technical questions. But no, look, thank you very much to Ericsson and 21st Century Fox. I mean, I think this LTE broadcast is an amazing capability, and this trial will really, I think, sort of be at the forefront of some real transformational change in how customers experience media. So fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
So with that, obviously we talked about the network, we talked about the consumer application from the media industry. Media industry was early out with starting to explore how ICT solutions can drive change in the industry. Now other industries are coming along, the automotive industry being one of them that is rapidly moving forward right now. Ericsson introduced a few years ago the connected vehicle cloud solution, and today we're taking a next step, introducing the connected vehicle marketplace that you will hear more about in a second. But first, I'm sure you've all noticed that we have a truck here with us today. We don't actually, from Ericsson, we don't see it as a truck. We see it as a device on the network. But we are probably not the best people to talk about the device. So I would like to invite Henrik Henriksson, CEO of Scania, to join us and see how they see the truck in both a truck and network perspective.
Thank you, Elena. Yeah, Scania, we used to belong to an industry called heavy commercial vehicles. That's what you see here. But today, we regard ourselves belonging to the ecosystem of transport and logistics. And this is an ecosystem that is moving rapidly forward when it comes to using digitalization to gain momentum. We actually don't call it digitalization, we call it connectivity. And the reason why I think we are moving forward rapidly in our industry is that it's business to business, but it's also about flows. You know, it's about mobility of people and goods, and that is flows, and these flows need to be connected. At Scania, we very early started working with these things, back in 1992 actually, together with Ericsson. But the big game changer for us came in 2011. At that time we decided that let's put in connectivity as an embedded service into all our vehicles, as a standard. And we were quite unique in the market of doing that. Today we have 250,000 connected vehicles around the world. Is that a lot? Yes, it is. In our industry, it's a lot. It actually represents around 70% of our global rolling fleet of 5 years old vehicles or younger. And usually our customers, they keep the vehicles for 5 years, so that's the first owner. That figure in Europe is 90%. 90% of our rolling fleet of 5-year vehicles are connected. And there we are brutally unique in our industry. We are using this data then, that we download every minute from these vehicles, where they are, where they've been, what sort of goods they're carrying, how much free capacity they have. We're using this data, real-time data, then to provide value for ourselves, of course, in our own service operation, but also to our customers. Like Börje was into before, this is about creating customer value. So we're using this information to bring better efficiency and productivity into our customers. And that is needed because the transport and logistic industry, there is a lot of waste. You know, from these connected vehicles in Europe that we have, we see that the average truck on the road is only loaded by 60%. 40% on the vehicle is waste. And of course, this is not good for the environment. It is not good for the productivity for our customers either. So there is a big gap here when it comes to efficiency in the transport system. In addition to that, our customers, they run a business with roughly around 2% EBIT margin. They run 24/7, they run 365 days a year. That means that they make their profit the last 7 days of the year. And of course then if we can help them to give them more time on the road, less downtime, or better efficiency in the route planning, of course this is big business for our customers. And that is why we are now launching what we call Scania One. Scania One is a customer platform that gives our customer and their drivers, but also our customers' customers, a possibility to get access to connected services. You can say that in a way it is like taking tools that we have available today, making them digital, and then putting it in the hands of our customers. That is what we're doing with this platform. It is a platform that is not one size fits all. Based on the specific information from the customers' connected vehicles and connected services, we tailor-make for each customer a specific experience and dashboard. So not one size fits all, tailor-made in the specific details for the customers. This solution is provided through software from Ericsson. A solution from Ericsson that they have helped us, that allows us to put on existing services, but also now future services that are coming. And through the cooperation with Ericsson, we are also able to open up this as an open platform, which allows other players in this ecosystem of transport and logistics to come in and join us if they can provide value to our customers and our customer's customer. So it's an open architecture. To highlight some of the things that we are having on the platform, one of the core things here is our Scania fleet management system. But it's not only that. It's actually an open marketplace. It's a meeting point. It's an arena. It's a hub for our services to come together. But the core is the Scania fleet management system. A super intelligent system with artificial intelligence and also with predictability and advanced analytics that is predicting what is going to happen to the vehicles when they need repair, when they need support, and also when it comes to optimizing different routes and different flows of goods and people. But it's not only these more advanced type of solutions. We also loaded this platform, Scania One, with more hands-on tools. And one of them might sound simple, but it's actually a daily check tool that you're using. Because in many countries, you have to legally do an inspection before you start running these big vehicles. And you have to go around and check them. And through simple solutions now, we can actually minimize the time that is required to do these checks. And a mid-sized fleet can save 1 to 2 hours per day. And you remember what I said about the 7 days that generated a profit, so then you understand the value of a few hours. I would put it this way. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the connectivity business for us has been growing rapidly in a company like Scania. Last year, 5% of our turnover was directly or indirectly dependent on this connectivity and the connected vehicle. That was 2016. In 2014, that figure was 1%. And this year, we estimate that our turnover will be needing these vehicles up to 8 to 10%. 8 to 10% of our turnover will be completely depending on these kind of services. So it just shows what sort of development we are having in front of us. And I would say that the examples that you see here and that you've heard me describe today, I think is a great example of the technology that Ericsson can provide to us in our industry and how you utilize a partnership with openness and transparency to create value. And here actually Ericsson is helping us on this journey to go from the 1 to the 5 to the 8 to 10% of our turnover going forward. And for us, this is real business. This is straight down on our customers' bottom line. And hence, it is straight down on our bottom line in our company. So, to all our friends here at Ericsson, I would just say one thing, that this is just the beginning. Thank you.
Exactly, this is just the beginning. So I wonder, what about 5G and the truck? Because, I mean, we're still talking existing technologies, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking we have the 5G boulevard here. Maybe we can just start by taking it for a little test drive and see what happens.
Yeah, come on.
Or we don't. Maybe we don't. Maybe we instead invite Börje back up on stage again. And just reflect a little bit. It's actually the 3rd year that Scania is here together with us at Mobile World Congress. So what is it that makes it such a good fit between the two companies?
Yeah, I think it is, as a base, I think it is the corporate culture. I think it is that we're sharing a lot of our values of how to do business, and I think that creates an openness and trust, and I think that is very important when you work with innovations like we do together. So I think that is a great foundation.
I agree with Henrik. Really, it's the basic values are the same. We're innovators in our respective industries. And I think it's also interesting here where, in a way, people that know me happen to know that I used to be on the board of Scania many years ago. And there are two companies I truly love. It's Ericsson and Scania. So it's really great to see it come together like this. And it was started out of a research project as well, or a research collaboration at KTH, which is a Swedish engineering school. And bringing that to market is just fantastic to see.
Yeah.
I think that if you look at innovation in the form of patents, I think that Ericsson and Scania, they're usually fighting about the first position in Sweden. So, but I think what we need to do now, what we do together in a good way, I think it's not only work with innovation when it comes to technology and hardware and solutions, but actually try to be innovative also when it comes to developing new business models. And I think that's where we're coming now together.
And it's a great example of what happens when you bring together innovation teams from a company like Ericsson and a company like Scania, and there are many other examples out there. A lot of things start to happen, and we're starting to see some real results of that now, so that's great.
But I think there is another lesson learned also, and I think you pointed to it as well. The new world will require new collaborations and new models, actually, and new partnerships. Unexpected partnerships to some, but actually we saw that as well with Andy and Hanno. You will see those partnerships being formed, and that's critical in the new world.
Absolutely. So with that, I think that's a good lead into your final remarks, Börje. So Henrik and I will leave the stage.
Well, I want to come back to the idea of being pioneers of the digital frontiers. We want to try to push new things, push the technology boundaries, and when you do that, people are critical. It's the colleagues I have at Ericsson, but it's also our customers and our partners. And to be successful in this new environment, well, and be successful in general as a company, you need to make sure your customers are successful. And that's what we will try to do as well. And I think you will see here in Hall 2, and what you've heard today, is that it's all starting to come together. 5G is still, not commercially deployed, but it is gaining momentum. We're seeing virtualization, digitalization, cloud, and network coming together. And it's accelerating. The momentum is coming. We are at an interesting cross-section in time. It's when technology meets commercial business models. And I think that is really exciting and provides us with a lot of opportunities as we explore the digital frontier. So we have learned a couple of things here. We saw with Neville first showing the importance of 4G network, and actually the importance of 4G network as a bridge into the 5G future. We heard Hanno and Andy describe how we can create a better experience for consumers, and basically by projecting and sending entertainment to devices. And we saw and heard Henrik described why IoT now has to be renamed Internet of Trucks. So I think there are a lot of promise coming with the future. So I hope this gave you a brief glance of where we at Ericsson stand today and how we try to relentlessly push the digital frontier. So I'm a rookie at Mobile World Congress. I will for sure take the opportunity to look around. And I'm definitely hoping you will do the same and enjoy all the different type of demos and use cases you will see here. Thank you all for coming.
So it's time to open up for some Q&As, and I think we will have some light coming on in the room so we can actually see each other, and it will be possible to ask questions here and through the web. And let's just start in the middle. We have roaming microphones. So yes, let's just start in the middle here.
Thank you. It's actually a question for Neville. I'm interested in just T-Mobile, sorry. A couple of questions, if I could. I wondered if you could just give us a status of virtualization. We've heard a little bit about virtualization today and where you are with that. And also on small cells was one of the things that maybe didn't get a mention today, but how you see small cell densification going forwards and whether there's a benefit to using the same provider for macro as small cells.
Yeah, a bunch of questions in there, right? So let's do the small cell thing first. I think we've been very careful and methodical about approaching and building the right small cell model. To date, we've got about 1,000 small cells on air, and most of those came on inside the last 2 quarters of 16. We're contracting for a vast number more, and this year we'll have probably 5,000 to 6,000 small cells in addition to what we've started with. So densification of these networks is a key topic. And just to give you a flavor of what we're doing with small cells, so I didn't talk about a couple of things up there because of the time limitation. Obviously, we're pushing out LTE. We're putting out unlicensed 5 gigahertz. So ULTE into LAA. That's going to happen on small cells. It's actually a fabulous application for spectrum growth and spectrum utility in that space. The additional thing we're doing is we're reserving and building space for 5G. And I think it's pretty clear that with the spectrum bands being adopted in the US, especially in the early running 28, 39 gigahertz, that you're going to see kind of small cell, roll out in urban areas primarily with the first push on 5G. And for me, this 5G discussion is really about, in the first running, it's about capacity and capability. And that's a no-brainer business case. I think everybody's running around trying to figure out how to make 5G work for fixed broadband or something else. The networks we're building today and tomorrow are absolutely going to need more capacity. So that's kind of the small cell story. Hopefully that's helpful. We're there. We're very active. We've got a great model running. On virtualization, we're busy. I mean, I think we've simplified our core network at T-Mobile for many years. And so I look at the complexity I know exists in my competitors' core networks, and they've talked a lot about SDN and how they have to virtualize. For us, it's been less of an early priority because of the great condition we're in with our core network, which we believe is actually leading. So virtualization, we're moving. Obviously, it's all over the IT space. It's coming in network. And over the next 3 to 4 years, I mean, especially in prep for 5G, you're going to see much greater virtualization, even RAN virtualization, which I think are great and exciting topics. So sorry for the long answer, but.
Okay, next question. Let's see if we have. Where's the next question? Yeah, let's continue over here.
Hi, Sasha Segan from PC Mag. One more for Neville, and then hopefully someone has a question for someone else. Of course. So you mentioned during your talk that you're going to be aggressive about turning down 2G and 3G, but of course you're not as aggressive as AT&T, who has already turned down their 2G network. What is T-Mobile's time horizon, and what are T-Mobile's criteria for turning down 2G and 3G?
Yeah, so I'll go on to this, Mike. Sounds like there was a problem before. So what we've done on 2G, Sasha, is we've already actually decommissioned, the lion's share of spectrum use on 2G. And we're using a very small volume of 2G for kind of nomadic and M2M services. And the opportunity cost for us from a spectrum perspective is effectively zero. We're operating GSM in guard bands in and around LTE, and so the overhead from a spectrum perspective is nothing. What that's allowed us to do is actually to support an M2M base and there are millions of these devices out there with GSM modules. And one of our competitors actually turned off GSM, right? Clearly turned off the switch, drove a lot of customers from point A to point B coming to us. And we found a very cost-effective and low-taxing spectrum methodology to actually run GSM for a period of time. So overhead is de minimis for us, and we can keep GSM customers for M2M on the network. And so our GSM story, still I have to operate a GSM network. By 2020, we've said we'd love to have GSM turned down, if not before. And the battle in our head is, and the thought process with an all-LTE network, what do we turn down first? 3G or 2G? And that is primarily driven by what you can do on voice. I talked about the VoLTE story. Today, Sasha, 2/3 of our calling volume is on LTE. 93% of our data is on LTE. And about 70% of our network spectrum assets are committed to LTE. So I want to get to that last 30%. And the thing that's stopping me doing that is legacy handsets. So with handset refresh cycles, I know you know them very well in the US. You look at 19, it's a real opportunity for us to actually move towards very close to an all LTE network.
Okay, I think we have one more question. Yeah, we can go there and then there.
Good morning, Chris Lewis from Lewis Insight. The question, in the opening comments, you referred to the 5G opportunity being $1.4 trillion, which equates roughly to the total telecom market. Do you see 5G as being a metaphor for the future of the industry, and therefore much closer cooperation between fixed, mobile, and indeed all elements of the telecom industry?
I think you have to think of 5G as actually, it's not only a telecom network, it's actually a business system. It's different business models. And connected trucks are only one thing. We will see a lot more connected devices. It will be prevalent in healthcare, in a lot of verticals. And that's when you add it all up, that will form the 5G ecosystem, of which, of course, we will be one player, but so will also all the existing operators be, right? So you have to think of that whole ecosystem as being the 1.2 trillion.
Okay, let's move forward. We have questions here.
I'm Keith from Aving News. Actually, I have a little delicate question because you're a competitor. Yesterday at the Samsung press conference, Verizon says they will start commercial service 5G early next year. What do you think about that?
I missed. Could you repeat the last part of your question?
Oh, yeah.
I heard the Verizon piece.
Yeah, Verizon said, yesterday at the Samsung press conference, they will start service, commercial service in the United States early next year. What do you think about that?
On 5G?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously there's a ton of 5G debate ongoing. And what's the kind of early move that Verizon has been talking about for some time? It's really, they're calling it wireless fiber, right? Whatever that might be, but it's fixed broadband displacement. And I think that's, it's a valuable use case. Does it excite me? Hell no, right? I'll be perfectly frank, and I don't want to run over Börje. Obviously, Ericsson is supporting the trial and activity too. I think that's one use case on the fringe. And, replacing, how I digest Netflix at home today with, 5G wireless, unless it's going to come at a very material discount to my household, the user experience is going to be pretty much the same thing. And if that's all we're doing with 5G is displacing fixed broadband, we should pack up our bags and go home, quite frankly, right? The piece that's exciting about 5G is how we're going to revolutionize the consumer experience. That's what this industry is really about, right? And that will drive the next fundamental wave of growth. That said, we're trialing, we're testing, we're looking at all the capabilities. One of the challenges in the US market is the spectrum banding that's emerging strongly for 5G. And some of it's driven by the rush into 5G, and it's 28, 37, 39 gigahertz. And I think engineers in the room all understand why those spectrum bands have not been used in the mobile industry broadly, especially in countries with the geographic mass of the United States, historically. So there are real challenges there. I think Verizon and others, including ourselves, are pushing the envelope on how to make these technologies develop at the pace where these types of solutions can become, not necessarily prevalent, but they can become potentially valuable. But I think that's a very thin sliver of the 5G world.
So we're coming up on the end time of this event, and everyone has busy schedules. So one final comment from you, Börje, and then we're going to end.
Make a remark on this, and I think it's important to recognize there will be different use cases tried by different operators and different partners, right? And the important thing here, maybe the use case itself is one thing, but actually it's the learning you will get as well. In building the system, it's going to reflect how you build your core network, how you kind of transform the rest of your services. So there are a lot of learnings to be had by making sure we get, call it 5G trials up and running and being tested around the world. And as you know, we're also partnering with Verizon on those trials.
So exciting days, lots of questions, lots of things to see. The demo area behind us here is coming to life now. Please stay, please come back, please spend time here. We're very glad that you joined us here this morning. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.